Hello, St. Mary's County.
Hello!
It's great to see so many of you. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for risking your health to come and support this movement in response to this age-old horrific issue present still today in America. There we go. Before we get started, I'd like to ask everyone to join me in kneeling and taking a 2-minute moment of silence for all the lives lost due to police brutality. I would appreciate it if the officers present would also kneel with us in an act of solidarity.
Okay.
I'd like to state that Health Officer Dr. Brewster and the Health Department are here to provide you guys with resources after the protest in case of exposure to COVID-19, and they're really emphasizing the need to social distance and the need for masks tonight. I'd also like to thank Sheriff Tim Cameron and Captain Steve Hall for their cooperation in organizing this event. At this time, I'd like to welcome Sheriff Tim Cameron.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Let's get pumped up. Hey, Captain Steve Hall and I had the pleasure of meeting with Emmanuel and Donovan to help formulate this event, and we were very pleased and proud to be part of this. I want to commend the youth in St. Mary's and parts of Southern Maryland for this. This is critically important that we hear your voices. The men and women, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear.
The men
That's
and
what we
women
want to hear.
they're here
That's
with
what we want to
United
hear.
Uniform are here to ensure that we hear your voice. We are with you. We support you. We're looking forward to a wonderful, peaceful event that people will go, wow, look at those young people. God bless you. Thank you.
To bring Donovan Weekley up here to speak. As the chairman of the Youth Advisory Commission, he's played a tremendous role in helping put this together. Come on up.
Hello everybody, thank you guys for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it, and this is a really important moment in history right now. I'd written most of this speech, if it is even something grand enough to be called that, 2 nights before June 1st. I wanted to share it as the chairman of the Youth Advisory Commission at the June 1st meeting with my fellow youth commissioners and the public. However, I was instead told that my language was too divisive, not diplomatic enough, that there were too many sharp edges. When I was told that, I was pissed off, not because someone wanted to critique my writing. I'm used to that, and I love when people do it. I was pissed off because everything that I did not intend for my speech to be is what it was expected to be, and that wasn't okay with me. The truth is, I'm tired of being diplomatic. I'm tired of detracting from the conciseness and brutal honesty necessary for effective communication. And I'm tired of acting as though there are two acceptable sides to the state of affairs in which the United States finds itself in the moment. So instead of telling you how scared I am, instead of telling you about the anger I feel being yet again reminded that the color of my people's skin is the most salient determinant of their societal worth, instead of telling you that I appreciate the white men and women who work every day relentlessly to eradicate racism within their circles, things we share in common, things we here today already know, let's talk about the people who do not share these traits with us.
Yeah.
The other day it was explained to me that there were 3 types of white people. 1, those who accept that there is a problem here in the United States and actively work to alleviate it to the best of their ability. 2, those who realize that there is a problem and do absolutely nothing about it. And 3, those who refuse to see that there is a problem and thus contribute to it every waking moment of their lives. I was told that I had to speak in such a way to pull, not scare the second group, those non-acting white men and women, into the group of acting white men and women, and yet, at the same time, be sure not to incite a reaction from the third group. I disagreed with that approach, though. While there may be 3 groups, let's be real, there are only 2 sides. You either support black people who have been set strides back since this country's inception, or you continue to impede us from moving forward. To see this issue, To see this issue and not act is just as heinous as to refuse to see the issue and perpetuate it. So let me speak directly to the other side. Police brutality is merely a byproduct of your own prejudices towards black people in America. When you see that black man standing on the sidewalk of Great Mills Road and you assume that he's up to no good, you are part of the problem.
Yeah! Come on, son. Go ahead, son. I'm with you, son. Go ahead, son.
When your buddy makes a joke with racial undertones and you fail to call him out on his own racist misconceptions, you are part of the problem.
That's right, son. That's right, son.
When you fail to have the uncomfortable conversations about racism within your family, you are part of the problem. To move forward as a community here in St. Mary's County, as a nation at large, and as a global society, it's about time that we confront institutional racism effectively. It's about time that we discuss why we allow implicit bias to worsen the lives of black people. It's about time that we discuss why black people are killed disproportionately by police officers. It's about time that we discuss why we observe health inequities by race in the United States. And it's about time that these discussions happen not only among black people themselves, but also among white people so that they may better understand both their historical and current contributions to these issues and more. It is then and only then that we can even fathom overcoming issues like police brutality, and thus only then that we can begin to save countless innocent lives. Just as I expect each and every one of you to talk about these issues, even when it's inconvenient for you, you should expect the same from your representatives within the local government, the state government, and the federal government.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The people you elect to these offices are the ones that will spearhead progress in the United States. These are the ones that have the capacity to expedite our progress or severely impede it.
Yeah.
The person for whom you vote and the actions they take while in office, or the things they say or fail to say, are at the end of the day a reflection of yourself. So I ask all of you who's listening to this to decide whether you're proud of the reflection you see.
Yeah. Yeah, son. Good speech, boy.
Now I'd like to invite Colin Mar up here, who would like to share a few words.
Good afternoon. My name is Colin Mar. Not a lot of you know me, probably barely, but I posted something today that Donovan said I should share today that needs to be heard to show that I don't know, but I'm just going to share it with you because it's important, and so here you go. I am a white, straight male, and I recognize my privilege, and recognize because of who I am, it makes me one of the most privileged people. I wish this was not the case. I wish there was no such thing as having more privilege simply because of the color of your skin, of your sexual orientation, of your gender, or any other factor. I recognize.
Come on, sir.
I recognize that I have the privilege to go out every day and not be scared that I won't come home.
Come on, son.
I recognize I have the privilege to play with a Nerf blaster, to sleep in my own home, to go for a run, to be pulled over and not be scared about the outcome.
That's right. Come on, son. Go ahead, son. That's right.
I recognize that I have the privilege to think to myself, my last words won't be, I can't breathe. I recognize my mistakes. I am not perfect in neither of my actions or my past actions. I have made jokes, made statements, made thoughts in the past that are not correct, not justified, not funny, and not right.
That's healing.
I know I have some wrong things that I've said, and to anyone that would be offended by any of my actions, whether you know about it or not, I apologize.
Thank you.
I apologize. I apologize to the LGBTQ plus community. I apologize to every person of color, and especially to the black community. I apologize.
Yeah, come on, son.
I am educating myself. I am teaching myself.
There you go. That's where it
those
started.
of you who are not black, a lot of you should too.
That's right.
Just know when you are educating yourself, it is not the black community's job to do so.
That's right.
It is your own job.
Come on,
It's your own job to recognize your own mistakes, your own actions.
That's
and your
right.
job to start to correct them. Read books and articles,
That's
watch
right.
videos, documentaries
yourself.
and the cell phone
There you
videos
go.
of what's happening today.
That's right.
Talk to those close to you, those of different backgrounds, ethnicities, genders, cultures, and religions, to better educate yourself
Come on, son.
on everything. I understand that I will never understand, and I stand with you. This is a phrase that sits with me. I know I will never understand a sliver of what the black community faces. I will never understand what it's like to live in fear, to live knowing that simply because of the color of your skin changes your chances of getting a job, of getting a better education, or coming home at the end of the day. Yes, all lives matter, but for all lives to matter, black lives must matter.
Yeah! Come on, son. There you go.
Our black community has faced racism, inequality, and injustice.
Yeah.
This has to change. This needs to change.
Come on, boy, you
We need
sound
to
like Martin Luther King,
reevaluate how
brother. Come on,
those in
preach.
positions of power are trained.
There you go,
We
son.
need to pass laws that protect our people
Come on now.
more than our officers, government officials,
That's
and
right.
the 1%.
That's right.
If I'm honest, I am not a very political person, and not being so, I failed in that way as well.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say is not an attack on a political stance, but simply maybe attack on someone's personal judgment. Donald Trump is a terrible person. Disabilities in public. Having family members who are mentally disabled, I find this offensive. He's blatantly racist, telling those in the black community, you have nothing to lose. He praised those protesting with guns as good people, but says simply that those wanting to be free and equal are thugs. He gassed peaceful protesters and a reverend of his own church so that he could take a photo. This is why we need to vote. We need to
Come
vote
on, son.
with every level of
Yeah.
government to make a change.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
I have been talking to my peers, spreading information, signing petitions, and protesting. I know I can do more. I'm planning on donating more to those organizations that can help. I'm planning on continuing what I've already started. Now I know this stuff, and I know simply making a post and reading it about what's going on in my mind won't help. But I've been holding it in and I'm angry. And I have not been holding it in for generations like many of you have.
Come on,
Or
man.
even
There you
more
go.
angry.
Come on, son.
Listen, when it
That's
comes
right.
down to it, just be educated, be on the right side of history, do the right thing.
Educate
and most
yourself.
importantly,
Come on.
recognize that for all lives to matter, black
Black
lives
lives
must
must
matter. If there's anything more I can do, let me know. If I need to be called out, do it.
Come on,
If I
son.
do not have yet talked to you and you'd like to talk to me, please talk to me. I want to better understand. I want to help. I want to be better. To my white community, check yourself and let's be better. Thank you.
That's all I'm gonna say on that. Next up to speak, we have a man with the name of Blair Leake, a Black Studies student who was published and awarded by the French Embassy in 2015 and was president for DC, Baltimore, Richmond, Columbia, and Charlottesville. Come on up, Blair.
I'm gonna start off by saying that is an incredibly hard act to follow. That was super good. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Blair Leake. I'm from the area. I'm from Calvert County, and I went to school here. Human rights issues are not a matter of opinion at all. Oh wait, there we go. Are we better? Human rights issues are not a matter of opinion. The problem we are here to discuss is clearly defined. Tamir Rice was killed in a public park 14 seconds after police arrived for playing with a toy gun. Dylan Roof, a known white supremacist, killed 9 black people in a church in Charleston. He was detained alive. George Stinney Jr. was a 14-year-old black male, and he was sentenced to death in 10 minutes for a crime he did not commit.
Yeah.
Brock Turner served 3 months in jail for violently raping a woman behind a dumpster.
Come on now.
I am a white male. I come from a prominent family. I went to a Catholic school that was predominantly white. I do not think that I have the right to speak for the black community, but what I can tell you is the white privilege is very real. And if you disagree with me, you are not only delusional, you are blind, but you are part of the problem.
Come on now. Come on, son. There you go, son. That's right.
Leviticus 19:16 states, "Do not stand idly by while your neighbor's blood is shed." Your privilege is an undeniable force. It is your responsibility to use it for good. Work with local legislators, call and write your representatives, but most importantly, use your privilege to hold others accountable. Hold the police, your friends, your family, and your colleagues accountable. It is time to stop sitting idly by while others are perpetuating systemic racism in this country. Many people are calling for the end of these protests since the arrest of George Floyd's murderers, including the president. But until there's new legislation, police reform, prison reform, until every black and brown person can walk home with a bag of Skittles, go for a jog, go bird watching, and are able to exercise all of their constitutional rights, there will be no peace.
Thank you so much for that.
Where you come from? Gotta look you up. There you go.
First of all, I'd like to say Happy Pride Month, everybody. Anyway, on my way to this event, I put on some music to calm my nerves. I sat in the passenger seat while the music from John Lennon entered my ears. He sang, "Imagine all the people living life in peace." I sat there and I thought to myself, imagine that. But as of right now, that's all I can do. The only place that can exist is in our imagination. I mean, just look at the news. It feels as if every other day another black person is brutally beaten or murdered unjustly by the police. Rodney King, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and George Floyd. What's to blame? Me, myself, am a mixed baby. Half white, half African American. When I was young, I felt ashamed to be half black. I thought something was wrong with me before I could even comprehend what race was. I'd get ashy on my knees and elbows, POC, you know what I mean. I got excited. Because I finally thought I was turning Caucasian. I thought that was the standard. I look back on it now and realize what's to blame. Institutional racism that's deeply rooted in America's government and society.
Yeah.
The state of the police system right now is a direct product of that. This can be seen everywhere. I've come to realize that there are no good cops. There are police officers, and then there are racists, which are sprinkled in communities all across America. The Black Lives Matter movement was created to fight against that, and here we are. Absolutely every person in the world should be for the movement. Living in this county, I've heard many a times, I don't support Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. We never said only Black Lives Matter. This is exactly why protests like this is necessary in St. Mary's. The statement all lives matter is an incomplete puzzle. An incomplete puzzle in which my people are missing from. Don't be upset that the movement isn't for your race. Be happy that you don't need one. I've also seen the Blue Lives Matter movement grow stronger and stronger all over America, and especially in this county. Let me tell you something. Blue lives do not matter, for the simple fact that blue isn't a skin color. Police officers can take their badge and uniform off. I cannot take the black out of my skin. Today is a very important day. Today is a very important day. Today is what would have been Breonna Taylor's 27th birthday. If you don't know Breonna, she was an emergency room technician in Louisville, Kentucky. On March 13th, she was fatally shot by the police. They busted in her door and shot her not once, but 8 or more times.
That's right.
Excessive force was in play, point blank, period.
That's right.
So happy birthday, Breonna.
Happy birthday, Breonna.
Happy birthday!
This has got to stop. We are tired of mourning, we're tired of seeing carnage, we are tired of unjust death. We have got to come together to push forward. This is a fight calling for everyone, not just black people.
Yeah.
No more moments of silence for the murder of black lives, no more black squares. We need to fill the silence with disruption until we see the change we need to exist equally. With that being said, let's fucking march.